We would have severe mold issues. We would have more damage to the drywall, that we would have some huge expenses there to try and clean up what needed to be done regarding mold. The plasterboard, I mean, I've got minimal damage right now that I can fix with no problem, but had I left it go, I think we would have had some serious issues. We, a few years ago, had windows installed in our home. The windows were not, they were installed by another company. And basically, the installers were not Class A installers. They basically did a lot of mistakes installing the windows. Basically, they did 17 windows in one day, which, after talking to some professionals, that's just almost impossible to do. And with all the errors that were made with the window installation, my wife and I have suffered some inside damage to our home. The one window, yeah, in the main bath, it completely fell down. In fact, I was putting the window blind down that's when it fell down on me, and it brought my attention to the fact that we've got a window issue going on here. And then all the other windows started coming apart also. Yeah, I noticed there was moisture around the main bath window is how I became alarmed to how the windows were installed. And I even tried myself a couple years afterwards, after I'd learned that the company had gone out of business, I tried to seal them up, but I just didn't have the know-how to fix what the issue was, and it needed professional attention. I mean, I'm handy, but I'm not a window installer, and by the looks of how that window was installed, it was horrendous. I couldn't believe how they used inferior caulking, they used inferior methods to install the windows. They basically sold us the fact that their own installers would be doing these windows. And when it came right down to it, they actually said that there would be 6 people here installing the windows, because we had 17 windows to deal with. When it came down to it, there was 2 guys here, and they were not their installers. They were subletted to do the job that we needed done here. So they were not from that particular company, which basically shows in the way they installed our windows. It was just a shame, and I didn't know anything about windows, and that's why I wish I'd have gone to a true professional in the beginning. When I called, right off the bat, the woman that I spoke to, she was very unprofessional. Right away she started blaming me for possibly playing with the windows and causing issues with the windows that they installed. And I says, look, I'm not that type of person. I says, I'm asking for you to come out and take a look at these windows and see what the issues that I'm having with them. And she basically started using some words I wouldn't even use to even my worst enemy, and tried to get me upset so I wouldn't bother with them anymore, I think. But very unprofessional, didn't want to come out. I had to basically beg them to come out, and when they did, they just basically tried to appease me. Okay, we put some caulk here, we put some caulk there, wherever, and tried to make it look like they did an outstanding job of basically just BSing me. They actually dropped a window and denied dropping a window on our hot tub that we had at the time. It pierced the hot tub cover, which I had just replaced a few months prior. I actually had to file the magistrate to get them to pay for the hot tub cover. You could see the outline of the window in the hot tub cover, and I knew they did it, but they kept denying it. So I ended up having to go to a magistrate and file against them, which they ended up having to pay what it cost to replace that hot tub cover. I was at my wit's end trying to find somebody to fix our windows. And whenever I basically called on Donnie to come out and take a look at our windows to see if they could actually do something for us, he said most definitely he could help us out. And the windows were actually, from what we found out after his crew got here, they were poorly installed, as I pretty much thought was the main problem. And his crew was able to come out here and fix all of our windows, all 17 of them, and we've had no issues whatsoever. I just wish it could have been done a few years ago by his company, because it's a superb job. I even told him after the initial job was done, they also installed shutters for us. And I told him, I said, hey, I think I've just fallen back in love with my house again. So it's been a great experience having Energy Swing fix the nonsense that this other company had done for us. They actually stripped everything off of those windows on the outside and completely redid all the metalwork around the windows, and then recaulked the windows to, in fact, I even told Steve, I says, the windows even sound more, there's more sound deadened now since everything's sealed up. I don't feel that the original installers did anything even remotely close to being professional. And what we got at the end, I mean, it cost us at the end, but it basically did the job, and I'm very happy with what they did. You know, when you look at what you spend on your house for whatever improvements you have to do, I was physically scared of our windows only because I didn't know how they could get fixed. And when Donnie come out and looked at the house, and he sent some other people out to look at it, and he says, hey, we can fix the issues that you have. And within a few days of basically exploring our windows and finding out what they did, and they actually took some of the issues off that they had put on when they initially were installed. I was surprised to see what was going on. So my fear was basically that of the windows falling out of our house and not being able to get back all the money that we had put into this house for windows. But Energy Swing did a fantastic job of assuring the fact that I'm no longer scared. So, well, what I learned over this whole experience is basically, you know, you can get a cheap price for windows, but what you're having installed is basically something that you've worked very hard for all your life to own a home, to take care of your home, and you want the best for your home. What I was looking for was basically the cost factor and a good product. But what I got was basically, I might have gotten away initially with a cheaper cost, but what I got was basically more money in the end I had to spend to make the job complete. Had I spent that money early on, I wouldn't have been in the problem, and now I've got work that I have to do because someone else didn't do it properly. So when it comes down to, you get what you pay for, and honestly I didn't get what I was expecting to pay for in the initial purchase.